Sloppy Joe Tater Tot Casserole, a new twist on an old classic favorite. Tater Tot Casserole, but I use Sloppy Joe meat underneath. If you want to see how I made this, please keep watching. Okay everyone, let me show you the ingredients for Sloppy Joe Tater Tot Casserole. I've got my baking sheet lined with foil. I'm going to spray it with some non-stick cooking spray, some Pam. I've got a 9x13 dish, and if you guys have seen any of my other Sloppy Joe recipe videos, I stick to the same thing. I've been eating the same Sloppy Joe recipe since I was 8 years old. Got it from my girlfriend's mom. Now of course she wasn't using manwich bowls, but this was the best thing I could come up with to get as close as I could to the taste. And for every pound of meat, you need 1 can of bold. And I'm using 2 pounds of ground turkey, and I have 2 packages of Sloppy Joe mix. Now you can get the manwich, you can get, this is Kroger, you can get Publix, whatever kind you want to get, or you can find. They all come out tasting the same, but this is the key, the Sloppy Joe mix. And I'm going to top it with tater tots. And I'm going to cook my tater tots separate, usually with a casserole with tater tots on top. You bake it all together. But I'm going to cook my Sloppy Joe meat and then put the cooked tater tots on top and top it with just a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese. So thanks, welcome to my channel. You know, I'm Jennifer, the channel who people who don't want to cook, don't have time to cook, don't like to cook. I don't know how you found me, but I'm glad you're here. I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's get cooking. I'm using 2 pounds of ground turkey. You can definitely use ground beef, I guess any kind of ground meat you like. But since I'm using a 9x13 dish, I'm only going to use 2 pounds. So I'm going to get this meat browned up for you guys and show you how to pull this together in less than 1 hour. Now I didn't show you guys, but I am going to add some seasoned salt to the turkey while I'm cooking it. You don't want to add too much salt because you know those packages come with undisclosed amount of salt. Well, it tells you, but it's hard to gauge. And I like black pepper, so I'm going to add some black pepper to this, so you can layer your seasoning. And I'm just browning my turkey over high heat just for a few minutes. Okay, I've removed all the oil after it's cooked, and you see it's no longer pink. So next I'm going to add the dry mixes. I like to add the dry first before I start adding the sauce. Okay, so I have 2 pounds of ground turkey, and like I said, crucial for my Sloppy Joes is equal amounts of the packages of Sloppy Joe mix. And as I stated, it doesn't matter what brand you find, it will still be delicious. And it cannot be the plain manwich, it has to be the bold. I've tried it with the original barbecue. This is it. If you like homemade Sloppy Joes and you have your own recipe, definitely use it. But you know, my channel is all about quick, fast, easy meals. I'm trying to cut corners for people who work and don't have time to come home and do a lot of extra for cooking to get dinner on the table for their family. Although I don't have children, it's just my husband and I. So I still want it quick because I work 12-hour days as a nurse, and he likes turkey with the Sloppy Joe, so this is ground turkey. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 can of the manwich bowl to this. Now I don't like my Sloppy Joes really wet. If you do, then by all means add 2 full cans. But I like mine kind of tight, so I usually go about 1.5 to 1 3/4 can of Sloppy Joe mix. Sloppy Joe manwich. And then get that all mixed together. My oven is at 425 degrees. For most tater tot casseroles, you cook it all together. But this, I don't want to put tater tots on top of here uncooked and continue cooking my Sloppy Joe meat. So I'm going to cook the Sloppy Joe, the tater tots separate, and make sure they're extra crispy. And then I'm going to top my casserole with the Sloppy Joe, with the tater tots, and put a little cheese on there just for a few minutes because it can't really be a casserole technically without cheese. Okay, I've got my orada tater tots, and I don't know how many I'm going to need. More is plenty, but you want them in a single layer. And I did spray this with non-cooked stick cooking spray off camera because I want these crispy, and I don't want the bottom half of them to stick and you have to pry them off and lose half of your tater tots. And I may do a double layer on top. So I've got those all set on the baking sheet. I'm going to put these in the oven at 425 degrees for about 20 minutes until they're crispy. Okay, I've sprayed my pan with some non-stick cooking spray. So now I'm just going to spoon in the Sloppy Joe meat mixture that you normally would put on a bun. And we like tater tots. And like I said, technically when you see a tater tot casserole, it's all cooked together. You make some kind of meat, beef, or whatever, and then you add some kind of mushroom soup or some kind of sauce to it, and you top it with tater tots and bake it all at the same time until the tater tots are done. But since I'm not making that, I'm making sloppy joes. The sloppy joe is done, so it doesn't need to cook. So I'm just gonna wait for my tater tots to finish getting crisp, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, there's my tater tots. They're nice and crispy because I did not want them soggy. So now I'm going to show you how I'm going to layer them over the top. Okay, I'm going to try and make them cute. My original plan was just to dump these on top. But then I thought, no, you can make it look a little better than that. I'm going to cover these with just a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese. Not a lot, just a little. I'm going to put this back in the oven on 425 just till the cheese melts. Okay guys, there you have it. And I didn't add a lot of cheese. If your family likes a lot of cheese, by all means, pile it up. I want my tater tots to be crispy and crunchy, and plus I'm lactose intolerant. Those of you who follow my channel know that. And the cheese will really mess me up. And I prefer mustard on my sloppy joes. So if this was just for me, before I added the tater tots, I would have squirted mustard all over the sloppy joe mixture and then put the tater tots on. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to tell you guys my joke. Before heading into war, the king locked his beautiful wife in her room and handed the key to his trusted friend. He said, "If I don't return in 4 days, unlock the door and she'll be yours." The king rode off heroically, but just 30 minutes later, he heard frantic hoofbeats behind him. He turned to see his friend riding like the wind. The king stopped. "What happened?" Catching his breath, his friend said, "You gave me the wrong key." Wow, so he wasn't even going to wait 4 days. He was immediately going to start messing with his wife. Terrible. You just can't trust anybody, so be careful who you call your friends. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Come back for the next one. Leave me a comment. More importantly, it's definitely for you to try this recipe. It is really, really, really delicious. It's something different, new take on sloppy joes. If you want to do something, if your family likes tater tots, throw a bunch of tater tots on top and add as much cheese as you like. I was stingy with the cheese because I'm not a big cheese fan. But may God bless you all, and may health, wealth, and prosperity come to you all. Have a good evening.